Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over how to create dynamic name tags in your Arma missions. To do this, we're going to utilize two main pieces of code. We're going to do on each frame, and we're going to do draw icon 3D. Basically, the way on each frame works is you say on each frame, and you open and close brackets, and then within those brackets, you write the code that you want to be executed on every single frame. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do for each playable units. What this is going to do is this puts a name tag over every single player and not just a specific one or yourself. You want it to be done on everybody. So you open brackets, close brackets, and then you do this for each playable units. Whenever you do this, you can use our magic variable _x. Basically, _x refers to each and every single one of the playable units in the mission. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to define a couple of variables, and we're going to use these variables to do different things within our name tag script. So the first thing we're going to do is the position. This you can actually just write in every single type of name tag you want. You'll see why I've defined it now, because it was just so much easier to write in when I do the full code. But basically, I do -x modelToWorldVisual 002. This is your X, your Y, and your Z. So basically, wherever the person is, wherever the model is, which is the actual person in the game, to world visual. So it's like where you see them in the world. You want it 002. So you don't want it in front of them or behind them. You want it just above them. So it's going to be 2 meters above them, wherever they are. Second one is we can see object null view, check visibility. This check visibility is pretty cool. This checks to see if you can actually see the player. I don't know what object null is. But view, there's a couple ones. There's like view, can fire, indirect fire, something like that. Where basically, if you can actually see them, it's checking if you can visually see them. Check visibility, and then you're going to do from and then to. So from the eyes of my player to the eyes of the player I want the name tag to be on. If I can see where their eyes are in the world, then this will return 1. This returns a value of 0 to 1, where 0 being you can't see them at all, and then 1 being you can fully see them. So if you want to make these cool things, or like if there's like a smoke grenade between you guys and you can only partially see them, it'll take your name tag away. If there's like a smoke grenade between them and you can only see them through the haze, it'll return a decimal between 0 and 1, like 0.5, 0.3, something like that, depending on how clearly you can see them. So you can tweak that a little bit when we come down and we have our I'm trying to think of the word. Shit. All right. So player distance. I've defined this because I'm going to use this in these variables. Basically just X distance player. If you want to have it to where it's just a name tag up all the time, if they're in a certain distance, you would just do X distance players less than 1,000, which I have right here. And you can forget all this stuff, but this right here, this is what makes my name tags dynamic, really. I've defined name size, and tag alpha. I've done some math, and basically what this math is doing is I've decided what the largest value I want to be. So like alpha, the largest I want it to be is 1, and then the largest value I want the name size to be is like 0.03, I think. 0.03 is that's the tag size. Anyways, just you can play with these to get the sizes of the things you want up or down. You'll have to do your own experimentation with it, but these formulas they work. So go ahead and use them. And then we're gonna get back down to our main code. So we're gonna use an if then. The way if then works is if, and then in parentheses you put all of your conditions, and if those conditions are met, then you'll have a then, and then your code brackets, and then within that bracket, that's all the code that you want to be executed once your conditions are true. So if every single one of these return the value true, then it will execute your then. So the first thing we're going to do is group _x equals group player. Basically, this is saying that if they're in your group, they will have a name tag. If they're not in your group, they won't have a name tag. And then if you have more than one condition, what you want to do is you want to put them in their own parentheses and separate them by these two ampersands in the middle. The next one is X is not equal to player. So this just means there won't be a name tag over yourself. So if you hit enter and you go into third person, you're not going to have this huge name tag sitting in the middle of your screen. The next one is assigned team equals red. You'll see why I've done this, because once I show you the actual init.sqf, you'll see I have one for each separate team. So there's red, green, blue, yellow, and white. But the white is actually named main. So if you type in white, it won't show up. You want to use main. And that way, depending on what fire team you divvy your squad up into, they'll have a color coordinated with what team they're on. The next one is can see. Again, we use this up here. So as long as it's above 0, I'm not worried about the obscured vision of the people. If you can see them, they'll have a name tag. Distance, players less than 1,000. So 1,000 meters is the max distance. You'll see a name tag no matter what. And then if they is kind of B Soldier SLF, I always use the vanilla units in my missions for this exact reason. I don't want to have to go through and rename all the different things I do. So I don't use any modded units in my missions. I always just use this, and then I change what I want them to be with other scripts. So if all these conditions are met, then we're going to execute our draw icon 3D, which is over here. So first thing we're going to do is draw icon 3D, then you open and close square brackets. If you don't know how the different brackets and stuff work in Arma, basically you have string, you have code, and then you have parameters. The square brackets are going to be your parameters. So the first thing we're going to do is the actual icon. I got this out of DPBOing the UIF data PBO. I'm not going to show you how to DPBO stuff just because if you're watching this video, you probably already know how to do it. And I got this. So basically the squad leader is going to have like a little lieutenant rank icon above their head. The next thing we're going to do is the color, the icon color. And this is where we're going to use our tag alpha. So it's an RGBA format. So since we're on the red team, we want red. We don't want any green. We don't want any blue. And then the alpha, what this does is this allows the dynamic name tags to be, so the further away you get, the lower this value is going to be, and it's going to look like it becomes more and more transparent the further away you get. Next is tagpos. We've defined that. That's the modelToWorldVisual, so it's going to be 2 meters above their feet. Tag size. This is going to be your icon size X, icon size Y. If you want it to be just a normal icon, you want to keep using a 1-to-1 ratio. If you want to elongate it vertically or horizontally, that's when you change those up. The next is rotation. So this will rotate the icon. So if you want it to be upside down, you would do 180. If you want it to be sideways, you do 90 or 270, all that kind of stuff. The next is text. I've entered in this, and this is actually what shows up the name. If you want it to be just a regular sentence over everybody, like if you want to do like friendly, or if you want to put it over like a piece of equipment and show what equipment it is, all that kind of stuff, you would just type in regular code with parentheses. But the way this works is you do format, and the parameters, the first parameter is going to be the actual text that shows up, and then you do these %1s, percent numbers really, and then for every percent number you have another parameter beside it. So the name. So we want to get the name, and then we want to show it right here in the text. Sorry. The next is going to be shadow. There's 3 parameters for shadow. You have 0, 1, and 3. 0 is no shadow. 1 is going to be regular shadow, where it kind of like shows the shadow off to the bottom right a little bit. And then 2 is going to be an outline, which kind of has like one of those shadows that goes out 360 degrees from the actual icon itself. I like to use that because it kind of helps set name tags apart from each other. Like if you have 5 guys in a line, you're looking at them, you'll actually see all the different name tags instead of it just blurring into one white bar. Yeah, simple stuff like that. Name size, this is the size of the text. Again, we've defined that, so the further away it gets, the smaller text gets. Then you have your font. If you don't know the different fonts of Arma 3, Purista Bold is the coolest one, period. I'm just kidding. If you go and you Google Arma 3 text, there'll be a website somewhere where it shows all the different texts through all the Armas, OFP, Arma 2, Arma 3, all that kind of stuff. Purista has like Purista bold, Purista semi-bold, Purista light. I just like using the Purista font. It's very easy to read. The next is going to be the alignment. So I like it to be on the right so that you have the icon, and then off to the bottom right you have the name tag. You can also do left, and you can also do center. It speaks for itself. Where you want the text aligned in relation to the actual icon, you're going to move it up and down, or left and right, sorry. Then the last one is, draw arrows. What this does is if you have it true, then it'll show these little tiny arrows on the sides of your screen whenever something goes out of your point of view. So like if you got a dude standing to your left, it'll have a tiny little arrow on the left side of your screen, and then you turn to look at him and the arrow goes away. I don't like using these because it kind of just clutters up the sides of your screen, and it kind of annoys me, so I don't use them. But that's it. That's the Draw Icon 3D. And then let's go ahead and look at it inside my init.sqf. You want to take this and you want to put it in your init.sqf. So this is mine. As you can see, I have a ton. So what I've done is I've separated them based on their team. So if they're in the red team, the green team, the blue team, the yellow team, or the white team, you'll have like that. And then I have them separated between the different soldier types. So if they're a medic, they're going to have one icon. As you can see, I've given them like the little, heal picture above their head, and then like the lieutenant bar, all that kind of stuff like that. So I've separated them. Then I have them all over the slide. And then there's a couple down here that I want to show you. So I always have this group X equals group player in there, so you only see the name tag if they're in their group. But what I have is if they're not in their group, I've given them something else where I think they're like purple or something. So if you see a purple dude, then you know they're on your team, but they're not in your group. You can't actually interact with them in your group. I'm gonna have like pilots, crewmen, and heli pilots, stuff like that. So that's it. And so let's go ahead and look at it in the game. Here we are. All right, guys, and here you have it. This is the dynamic name tags in the game. This shows you how they work. You can see we have the actual icon itself, and then we have the name tag above them. And it's 2 meters above the ground wherever they are. So when they're standing, it's right on top of their head. And then I think when they prone and stuff like that, it kind of stays up there. I'd love to move it to where it actually attaches to their head, as I said before, and it'll go up and down with them. But I think it works pretty well. So right now, they're all on the main team. That's what you start off with. Let's see what happens if we change the fire team they're on.
Team blue.
Boom, all blue. And then we can change them individually as well. So if you want to just select that guy, and we'll put him on team green.
Team green.
That way you can more easily divvy up your teammates into different fire teams, and you can see what fire team they're on based on the color and all that kind of stuff. So pretty cool stuff. And then we're obviously right next to them, so they're not going to be very small. Let's see what they look like if we get further away. Yeah, see? And so you'll see that they are noticeably smaller and that they're more transparent, and this kind of gives you an idea. I think we're probably only around, like, I don't know, 500 meters away. So that's half of what they're going to be, and then as they get further away, they'll become less and less visible. And then we don't have the draw arrows on, so as they go out of your screen, they go away, and they come on, they come in. And then to show the obstruction part, let's come down here. So you'll see you can't see them through the earth. So as they come into your view, you'll see they'll pop up. And of course, we're coming from the eyes of the player. So obviously right now, your camera can't see those people, but where your eyes are on your person, they can. So third person will kind of might mess you up a little bit. But then as you go away, boom, they go away. Up, there they are. And then even like when they're laying down, like the grass can obscure them. Like there's obviously a guy right here somewhere. We can't see him. Yeah, here it is, popped up. And then even sometimes when you prone and there's too much grass in your way, so like again, we can clearly see there's guys right there, but since they're too obscured, it's not going to show them. So there they are. That's the dynamic name tag script. If you like it, go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment. and then hopefully you guys subscribe to the channel for more. Again, we're going to be going over a lot more scripts that we use in our missions. So stay tuned for more. Until next time, have a good one.